Hello. I wanted to make this video to explain more about what Megatherium is and my red stones, the rocks that I got from my property specifically. I'm going to explain my process. Why do I put paint on them? Why do I put paint on the rocks, that is? Before I get to this horrendous drawing, I really can draw, but when I'm on a rampage about something, it's not gonna look too good. So okay, so I'm gonna talk about the rocks that were in my backyard when they're straight out of the ground, and these are a little bit washed. This is what they look like. Now when I was looking at them, some of them, they seem to have some patterns in them. Maybe this one here looks a bit like maybe a cat head. In fact, I can see that. I mean, can you see that? But then you might see maybe that's a person's face or head. But it just doesn't seem right, or it's not as pretty as like a chipped arrowhead. Or there's a face right there looking to the right. But it's very raw. It looks like sandstone. Maybe look at the edges. It looks a little bit, crimped. Something's going on here. So yeah, I was going through this phase of something's not right with these rocks. So I came up with some techniques. This one was from the backyard, and I'm not sure exactly what it is. Maybe a chipped stone, chipped bone or something. But like this way, you've got an effigy with this guy's maybe a headdress, and this little face. I think it's got like little beadwork or something going on in it. But then when you turn it this way, it's this little lion head. Now I put artist medium on it. These ones with all this little detail in it, I don't have to actually put any paint on it. I don't want to. I really don't want to destroy anything. I don't want to do anything like that. And if you go to a museum, they will put like artist medium on the dinosaur bones. It just makes them look better, and you can see them better. In fact, like when I look at this, you can see like that cat head has got an open mouth. But does that look very appealing to you? Not really. Okay. So here's one that's slightly treated, and we see. Before I did this, you couldn't see the teeth in that canine mouth. Look at the eye. There's an eye there. These are not chipped stone. They're not. And I've had people arguing with me. They're not artifacts because they don't have any nap markings. Well, no crap, The thing is, I am uncovering a type of culture here that nobody saw before, because like anything that was sewed either, vanished or just turned petrified. In fact, they thought that for a while they didn't think sewing was invented until like 6,000 years ago. But funny, they had a spindle that was like invented probably about 10,000 years ago. But these things are roughly, I'm assuming 12,000 years. Apparently they were sewing in Asia like at 10,000 years or so. So, okay, here we are with the, this is chipped, obviously, or cut into. This is the sloth tooth, and I'm just showing you, this is a giant sloth. Now, it's about the size of an elephant, okay, compared to human. And the face is here. Its little claws are wrapped around to its face. And the one thing I noticed by looking at these images is that the mama sloth carried her baby on her back, and this baby sloth is right there in like the enamel part of the outer surface of the sloth tooth. So the outside of the sloth teeth, and you can imagine how freaking big this animal was to have teeth within that size. Yeah, I talk about this one a lot because I just love this. So that's baby sloth's foot. That's its tail right there. The front foot's there. I guess it's like has this weird dimension thing. So there's its head kind of going this way, but if you turn it this way, the head faces down to the side. And there's Mama Sloth's foot, the toes right there. You can see them there. Now you can see her eyes. But it's like, you know, if this is an animal you've never seen before, you're not going to recognize it. And I'm going to get to this picture in a moment. So finding my techniques, because nobody could see, like I'd say to the rock groups, the artifact groups, look at this look, this is an artifact of some kind. And they'd say, laugh at me and say, that's just a rock. You know what? It's in my possession. I got to go by my own gut feeling on this. This makes me the expert. So sit down and shut up. I wanted to be able to see the things better. Basically, it wasn't just my gut feeling. I was on burial ground, and we'll just say I'm sensitive, and there were things telling me, spirit guides, and they're still with me pretty much. One of the things they said is they don't want to be forgotten, and you go through everything. You feel the emotions, the trauma. The earth holds on to trauma. And that's why I'm very upset, like when there's talk of war, the earth will hold on to that. So just remember that. It's like you can't just like tear down cause a genocide and just build a amusement park on top of it and say, call it a day. That's not how it works. Anyway, so you can see this guy has a lot of pain on his face. He's got a crow on his shoulder, or a blackbird or something. That's how I perceive it. At his heart, there's this grieved, I want to say it's a female spirit or a grieved mother. The child has no ears or no eyes. I mean, what kind of metaphor do you get out of that? This is such an intense piece, but then if you look at it again, you get this cat head. I mean, someone else might get something different out of this piece. It's very intense, but then if you hold it this way, now that crow becomes this guy's hair. Still got this headdress, but now look at it as an animal. The eye, the nose, the mouth, the ear, the paws. He's sitting on his haunches, but the back side, I was exploring it. There's something else going on here. And this back side, just think of this as matrixing. I was just trying to find something, and there's just so much going on with this, just cut lines going everywhere. And here we have this animal with the mouth open and the teeth, the ear, the nose, the eye. But then you turn it and you get another one. There's the animal on its haunches, the nose, the ear, the paws. You can kind of see a person's face right there, eye, nose, mouth. I mean, you always see something different. It's turned that way. There's a nose, mouth, eye, ear. So it's another animal that way. These are animals. We don't even know what they are, half of them. But you can kind of see cat, canine cat. If I just keep turning it somewhere else, there's another animal over here with a nose there, mouth. It just keeps going on and on. Yeah, it's just really crazy. Were these people, and then this thing. When I found this, what do you think I saw? Do you think I just like, oh, it was just a plain freaking rock, and it's like I knew there was something on it. So yes, somebody's telling me something. And yes, there's thread lines in here. So what do? I start painting it. And I get the mastodon and the mammoth. So sorry if you don't like me painting rocks or artifacts and ruining them. But if I didn't do this, we would never know what it's saying. So I'm telling you something that the past is trying to convey to you. It was not a parent and a baby. It's like a joining of tribes, a joining of something like two brothers, or and then flipped it this way, and you have the two heads, the mammoth and the mastodon. You turn it that way. There's the mammoth again. That mastodon is still in there. I just didn't paint it in. It's just, who comes up with this? These animals disappeared around 10,000 years ago. Shut up, right? This one I'm not fully sure of, but what I'm seeing is I slathered the paint on it, and when I found it, the first thing I saw was this kind of person standing here. It still confuses me, and what I was seeing was these digits there. First I thought it was somebody's fingers, but more so I see claws at the end. So what I think somebody did was take bird claws and covered it with something and sewed it to like an armature. So I think there's bird claws going this way and bird claws going this way. So you can kind of see the digits like going this way, like there's 5 going this way and 5 going the other way. At the end, this shape, see, I was picking up so many different things. I'm slathering different paint colors, tracing in these little, but what I see now is this cat, like a big cat. So like the head's here and its tail here. At the time, what I saw here was the sun and the moon symbol. It's weird, but these meanings just pop into my head, what I was coming up with. And funny, the light looks different here. So that the lighting has something different to do with it. This is the thing that I see mostly. It's not going to help because that light is different. Well, the main thing is I see this dancer. There's the face there, but I was also seeing a face there, and I dulled out the second face because it looked like a scary face. But they're wearing a headdress of some kind. I realize I'm making this a longer video than I meant to, but this dancer is wearing an elaborate outfit. Please don't tell me that cavemen or the people that lived in prehistoric times wore rags. What I see is a very elaborate ceremonial costume here. They're dancing. I see feathers attached to this thing. You know, think of like how like the Native Americans dance in their ceremonial regalia now, like when they're doing their powwows and stuff. This, I mean, I know I just added some color to this, but I'm tracing in lines, and I see things that look like feathers and moccasins and a lot of bling. Okay. I don't know, I'll just leave that one there. So, because that one was very confusing for me even. So back to this one. And yes, somebody could not see the sloth here. Okay, let's say the sloth has this little head. Those big forelimbs right there. I even saw claws on this. That's how detailed it. It is not a chipped rock. You can see the claws in that. Yes, I had to put ink on it, but if I tilt it like that, you don't really, you can see the shapes. I mean, this is staggering. You can see the fur etched into this somehow. This is an animal that died out about 12,000 years old, 12,000 years ago. Now, here's about this side. This is why I made the shapes kind of simple. This was something else I was seeing before. Look at this as a cat ear. So cat ear. Imagine that is an eye. And maybe this is why it's got this big line here. The teeth. The cat is dragging in, maybe it just caught something. The cat caught its prey. And you know how tricky these things are. Do you see that? Okay. So back to the back side. I was talking about the baby riding on the mama's back. There's the baby. Okay, so here's the mom's back, and she's sitting on the tail. There's the back. She's sitting on the tail, and this limb has so much detail on it, like all the fur, and the claws are there. Her left claw, that's the elbow, and then it goes this way, and then there's the claws on it. She's helping that baby up her back, and she's looking away. You see her dimension. That's beautiful. And then this right claw, just like that, you know. And you could probably make things out of this. There was another sloth. I think the Jefferson sloth, Megatherium or something. Nose, mouth, ear, maybe. Or I don't know what that is. We don't know what existed 12,000 years ago. And then there's a hidden human face. I don't want to hear anyone tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. But just let this all soak in for a moment. All right, well, have a great day, everyone.